Good morning, moms. Welcome to this video. Today, I'm going to be talking about the habits that are keeping you stuck in a sugar coma and how you can break those habits and break free from the sugar handcuffs that we wear that keep us stuck in. And this will work for your sugar problems. This will work for your need to have a glass of wine when you get home from work. This will work for any of the habits that you've created around anything in your life, but we're going to talk about it mostly as it pertains to food today. My name is Rachel and I'm a mom of 6, and I help moms bust through sugar cravings and make themselves a priority so that they can lose weight and have more energy. And today I'm talking about the sugar coma and the habits that are getting us stuck there and that keep sending us back to the coma. As hard as we try to bust free, we just always end up going back to that place. So let's talk about habits and why they create such a sugar coma for us. So I will tell you first, my big habit has to do with ice cream, as you probably have heard me talk about before. And what I'd like for you to do is share any of the habits that you have. So again, like I mentioned, that right when you get home from work, you just need that like something. I had a habit at one time about I would, after I ate, I just needed something sweet to eat. All those things that we do kind of like on autopilot, or that we just feel like we need to do, is a habit. And you can have a habit that relates to, as soon as I wake up in the morning, I check my phone, or before I go to bed at night, I say a habit of saying 5 things I'm grateful for. There are habits all over our day. Our day is built around habits. And so what I want to talk about today is those habits that are kind of a detriment to your energy and your weight and all of that. And so sugar is what comes to mind first of all. And let me stop and say hello to Karin and then to Joy. When you hop on, I'm talking about habits and the ways that we can break them so we can break free from our sugar coma. But let me know down in the comments what some of those habits are as it relates to sugar that you want to break. So let me tell you about my habit. So I have for years and years and years, I think it started, when my 13-year-old, maybe when she was like a year old. So this has been going on for about 12 years. It started around Grey's Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy's been on for, is it 14 years now, I think. And a friend of mine would come over on Thursday nights when Grey's Anatomy, this is when Grey's Anatomy was on Thursdays, which was maybe a couple years after it started. But she would come over on Thursday nights because that was the night that my husband would like go back to the office and do extra work. And she would come over on Thursdays and we would watch Grey's Anatomy and we would eat ice cream. And when I mean eat ice cream, I don't mean like eat the half-cup serving of ice cream. I mean like eat ice cream. We'd pull out like 4 different flavors and we'd whip out the Cool Whip and we'd whip out the peanuts or almonds or pecans or whatever the nut of the week was, and whatever else that I had to put on ice cream. So maybe we had some M&Ms, whatever we had to put on ice cream, we would put it on the ice cream. I'm not a chocolate syrup gal in my ice cream though, so I didn't do that, but my friend probably did. But that became our thing. And Thursday nights, we would binge on ice cream and we'd sit and watch Grey's Anatomy, and I'd try to get all the kids to bed. I know for sure that we did this starting when my son was born, and he's 11 now. So for sure we did it at this point. And so that was the thing that we did. That became our thing. It was something that made me feel good. It was kind of my social life when I had at that time 3 kids, and it just created this feeling of closeness with my friend, closeness with what we were doing. It just created a feeling, and it became a habit. And it's a habit that I still enjoy. Now, when I told you that on Thursdays, we didn't just have like the half-cup serving of ice cream. Like we went all out with this ice cream. And sometimes if we had leftover cake from a birthday party or whatever it was, we added it. So this became like a serious like ice cream binge, and it became a lot of ice cream, and it became a calorie bomb of ice cream. And so over the years, my once a night binge on ice cream turned into a multi-night binge of ice cream because it created this like sense of comfort and habit. And it kind of became, even after my friend, she graduated from college and she moved away and we didn't have our Thursday nights anymore, I still did it. And it became something that I did kind of to close my night out. So I'd get all the kids to bed, whether there were 4, 5, or 6 of them, they'd go to bed, I'd dish up my ice cream, and I would indulge in this ice cream while I watched TV, because that was the only alone time I got. So it became my habit. So here's the way it went was get the kids to bed. I've already got my jammies on, my face wash. I'm all comfy. I'm cozy. I go downstairs. I dish out my 2 flavors of ice cream. And again, I'm not talking about a half-cup serving of ice cream. I'm talking about like a lot of ice cream. And my Cool Whip. Always have Cool Whip. Fat-free Cool Whip. Remember my post the other day, if it was fat-free, I'd eat it. Fat-free Cool Whip and then peanuts on top. And I would sit and I'd eat my ice cream. And over the years, the bowls kind of got bigger and bigger and bigger. And so that was something that I would do on Thursdays. And then, like I said, it turned into something that I would do even multi-nights a week until it turned into kind of a nightly habit, because it's what I did after my kids went to bed. It's how I found comfort at the end of my day. It's how I felt good at the end of my day. So it became this habit, something I did. And I tried many times to break it. I'd maybe go one night. It even got so much as that, like, even if we had like a lot of food during the day, if we'd gone out to dinner and I had a cheeseburger and fries, I'd still like have to have the ice cream. I wasn't hungry for it. I just had to have it because it was part of my day. It was part of my habit. So let me know. I've totally shared this all with you now. I want to know what habits you guys have that are similar to this, that it's like something you just don't feel like you can give up, that it's just part of your day. In the sugar busting boot camp, I asked the challengers on Sunday or Saturday, I can't remember what day it was. I said, what is your sugar story? Like, why do you need sugar? And I got a variety of different answers. And one of them was, it just makes me feel good. Like, it's just eating that sugar just like fills in some hole that I've got going on in my body. Again, habit. Feel good. I need to feel good. I eat the sugar. I need to feel comfort. I eat the sugar. I'm winding down my day. I finally get my alone time. I need to eat the sugar. I mentioned another one of mine. So this one is really true, especially in the summertime. We get done eating, grilling or whatever, because I eat at home more in the summer. I need a little bit of sugar. And so whatever, a piece of hard candy or a Hershey's Kiss or whatever little sugar bomb I could find, I would need to have that kind of like as a closing to my meal. I used to joke that I should develop the marshmallow diet, that when you get done eating, you eat a marshmallow and that signals your body that you're done. Again, that's a habit. So we create these like steps that our body feels like it needs to go through. And so one of the tricks to getting out of the sugar coma is breaking those habits. And that can be really, really hard. If anybody's tried it, and I've never smoked, so I can't give total testimony to this, but it's hard to quit smoking because it's a habit. It's something you do. And it's not just the nicotine, it's the conversation. It's the feeling of the cigarette between your fingers. It's the break that you do. It's your habits, what you do. I had a mentor once that talked about in the afternoon, she always went for a Starbucks and a muffin at 3 o'clock. Like her body was like Starbucks and muffin. And she had to do some things in order to change that habit. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, is the steps that I've taken to change my need for ice cream. Now, today is Thursday, the Grey's Anatomy day, and I will probably have some ice cream tonight, but it's more of a one-time thing than it is like this, I have to have ice cream at night in order to like survive my life. So let me move on to the steps. Again, let me know what kind of habits you have and how you want to break them. And I can kind of coach you through those while we're talking here, or maybe later on, you can also post in the group, just to post a brand new post and say, oh my gosh, I have this habit where I have got to come home and have chips and dip after work. That was one that I grew up with. My dad always, we'd go out, we'd come home from, I'd worked with my dad in the summer and we'd come home from the office and we'd always have French onion dip and chip. That's another habit. It's just something you do and you don't even know you're doing it. You don't know why, you're just doing it. So I have got 5 steps that I've used to break my habit with ice cream. And then I've helped my clients use to break some of their habits, whether it be sugar or wine or whatever it might be. So the first step, the thing that I want you to do is I want you to recognize the habit. You've got to see that there's something going on. So for me, it was recognizing that this ice cream was connected with Grey's Anatomy and the TV, and then like just having alone time finally at night, that there was like this thing about it. So recognizing what the habit is. You may not even know that you run to the sugar jar after you get done eating every time you eat. You may not even really realize that you have to have a glass of wine when you get home from work. So really take a look at the sugar and start with sugar, or start with whatever your binge food is. Take a look at that and go, when do I need to have sugar? And when is it happening? Is it happening every single day? Maybe you go out with friends on Saturdays and you always drink too much. That's a habit. The trigger is you go out with your friends, the consequences you drink too much. So really take a look and recognize like where that habit is kind of taking over your life. So again, for me, it was the Thursday night needing to have that sugar, that ice cream, as a way to kind of celebrate making it through the day, as a way to celebrate the alone time that I had. It's kind of actually turned into, on Thursday nights, my older girls and I will sit and have ice cream. And one of my daughters doesn't always have ice cream, but the other one always does with me. And so again, it's that habit, it's that belonging, it's that kind of comfort. S'mores, another thing we do in the summer. We have a campfire, got to have a s'more. Again, there's a trigger figure out what that trigger is, and then look at what the consequence is. So for me, there's a fire, a campfire, backyard, kids around, gotta have a s'more. Thursday night, Grey's Anatomy, kids are in bed, gotta have ice cream. So recognize what that process is for you. And let me know down in the comments if you can come to mind any of those already that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm totally seeing this pattern that I have in myself. Because that is the very first step. If you don't recognize what the pattern is, you're not gonna be able to break it. So the next step is I just want you to like forgive yourself for it. Don't go, oh my gosh, I've been doing this for 10 years and I'm so sick of it and it's ruining my diet and I'm terrible and I suck and I'm never going to break it. Get out of that mindset right now. I want you to forgive yourself. I want you to say to yourself, all right, so I've been doing this for like 11 years. It's a tough pattern. I see how it's become a habit in my life, but I'm ready to let it go and forgive it. Forgive yourself. Don't beat yourself up for it. You know, you learn something from it. Everything that we do in our life is a process. There's a reason for it. There was a reason for the sugar binge on Thursday nights with Grey's Anatomy, and now you're forgiving yourself and you're ready to let it go. Telling yourself you're ready to let it go is really important. So the third one is to create a new process. So for me, my new process was instead of having the, kids go to bed alone time ice cream, I created the new process of kids go to bed alone time, and I would drink a vanilla, like a recovery shake. It's actually called Recharge shake at night that was vanilla. And honestly, like and it was when I started my the new meal plan that I teach in my sugar busting boot camp. When I started that last year is when I started drinking the shake at night. And I know you're like, oh my gosh, I don't need a shake in my life. I don't do shakes. But it tasted like vanilla. It gave me the ice cream feeling that I was getting, and it did the trick for me. It satisfied my sugar craving because it was a little bit sweet. It gave me something to do with my hands and my mouth while we were watching Grey's Anatomy. And it also then gave me some more of that slow burning protein at night. So it helped build my muscles, and I started to see the results from it. So create a new pattern for yourself. So maybe my new pattern with the s'mores, this one's a hard one to break, is when I campfire sitting out with the kids, instead of having a whole s'more, maybe I just throw a marshmallow in my mouth, and that's my new pattern. Or maybe I bring out a can of LaCroix to drink while I'm doing the campfire with my kids. And so there's just different patterns that you create. And again, that's something that we work on in the boot camp, is recreating those patterns so that people have a different path to follow instead of the one that they're used to following. And I'm not going to tell you that it's easy. The first few nights I was like, all right, I'm going to drink my vanilla shake. It was kind of hard. I was like, oh gosh, I really want the ice cream. I'm like, nope, I'm going to do this. I got my eyes set on goals. And then over the next few days, I started seeing changes on the scale and how I felt the next morning. Because honestly, that ice cream was giving me a gut ache and I'd wake up with it in the morning. I started to see the changes, and then you just want to keep going and you want to keep doing it. The s'mores one, that's not a habit I'm really ready to give up. So I'll probably still have a s'more with my kids on Saturday nights when we have a fire, but I might look at it and go, gosh, I feel better the next morning. I'm not so full when I go to bed, and start seeing the consequences of my new habit and start wanting to have that become the new habit instead of the old habit that I was following. Okay, so step 4 is really, really, really important. And this is the evaluation step. And some people like to skip this one because it's not so cute and fun, but you've got to evaluate your progress. If you're switching out your ice cream for a shake a night before you go to bed and you still wake up tired and crappy and you're not losing weight and you feel unsatisfied and it's not working out for you, don't keep doing it, because you're going to give up that new habit. So if it's not working, you need to find something different. So maybe instead of the shake, maybe I have part of a protein bar, or maybe I have myself have a little piece of hard candy with my shake to give me that like sugar satisfaction. Whatever it is, change it up, because if you're creating a new habit that's not giving you the results you want, if it's not feeling good, if it's not delighting you, you're not going to stick with it. And so you're going to want to go back to step 3 and recreate a new pattern, and then go back to step 4, evaluate. And once you get something that you feel like is working, I always say rinse and repeat. You're just going to keep doing that pattern over and over and over again, because it's going to be something that's just part of your life. It's part of your day. It's what you do. So just to give another quick example on this before I sign off, the morning workout is one that people ask all the time. How do you get up in the mornings and work out? I'm not a morning person. I could never do that. That's crazy. Well, I was not a morning person either. Prior to my kid life, I had a job I had to be at 8 and I had to leave at 7:30, and I could not drag my butt out of bed at 7 in the morning to get ready for work. It was so hard. There were so many mornings I was like, all right, forget the shower, throw on makeup and walk out the door without breakfast, because I just could not get myself up in the morning. I was not a morning person. If I didn't get 9 hours of sleep, I was totally worthless. I couldn't get up. So I thought that was my habit. When I had my second baby, my husband said, you want to work out, you're crabby because you're not ever working out. After I had my first baby until I started working out in the mornings, my workouts were like inconsistent and sporadic, and I was miserable. And he said, you're not getting this done. He's like, why don't you get up in the mornings before the kids wake up and do it? And I was like, yeah, you're funny. I'm not a morning person. That ain't happening. And I wish I could remember why I did it the first time, but I did. It was hard. It was awful and it sucked. But I recognized the habit that I had of working out whenever my kids let me was not working. And so I decided I had to do something different. Step 2 was the forgiveness over you let yourself go. You became a mom and you became that thing that you didn't want to. It's time to release it. And then going into step 3 into what can that new habit be? So my new habit became getting up early in the morning. And so I set my alarm and I got up and I did it a few minutes earlier every single morning until I was able to get up at 5, get my workout completely done before my kids got up. And when I went into the evaluation step, I thought, this is awesome. I get stuff done before my kids are up, and this is working. I'm getting my workout in every day. Sometimes I would even get my breakfast started and maybe a little bit of work done. Like, this is working for me, and I'm going to keep on doing this because I'm getting the results that I'm looking at. I lost the baby weight. I think I started doing this when she was probably 3 months old, and I hadn't lost as much baby weight as I wanted. All of a sudden I started losing the baby weight. I just felt more in tune with myself all day long. And so then I started creating like a whole morning routine, and that's a whole nother video, but that became more of a habit that I would do. Now I've created the habit of being a morning person. I get up early in the morning, before, my kids got up this morning. I had my workout done. Before I took my son to school at 9, I had the page already for people to sign up for the Sugar Busting Bootcamp. I had, checked my emails. I got a bunch of things done so that I feel like I've got more time in my day. I no longer have to have 9 hours of sleep. And it's awesome. So I'm on step 5 now, where I just rinse and repeat, and I make little tweaks here and there, depending on the day, depending on what I've got going on and all that type of thing. So you can totally change the way that you do things by following these 5 steps and recreating your habits into habits that are going to get you to where you want to go. So if your goal is to get up earlier in the morning, if it's to get out of the sugar coma, if it's to eat more vegetables, we can create a habit for that as well. There are habits that I can help you create with just about anything that you want to stop doing and turn into something new. Keeping in mind that whenever you get rid of one thing in your life, it's going to be replaced by something, and we want that something to be good. So a lot of times you hear people say that, well, I quit smoking and I got fat. Well, that's because when you stop smoking, you replace that smoke time with something else. And a lot of times that something else is food, whether it's eating candy all the time, or it's instead of on your smoke breaks, you're going and you're having a candy bar with your friends, whatever that is, you're replacing it with something. And so when I work with my clients on creating these new habits, we replace it with something positive that they want. So we get rid of that thing that they don't want to keep doing anymore, and we replace it with something that's really, really going to be good for them, and that's going to get them results. So those are my 5 steps. I'm going to repeat them again for you really quickly. The first one is you got to recognize what the habit is in that process that you're doing now that's getting you to that place that you don't want to be. The second step is going to be that forgiveness piece. Let go of what you've done before and the mistakes you made and how it's kept you fat and how you don't want to be there anymore. Just let go of all of it. Got to have a clean slate in your head. The third step is to create that new progression. So let's create the new trigger and then the new consequence, so that new habit. The fourth step is going to be to evaluate it and make sure that it's working for you. So my morning program, if I was crabby all day, I had a challenger, she's one of my coaches, that said, I'm getting up in the mornings and working out, but it's not working. I'm so tired all day long and I'm crabby. I'm eating junk all day because I'm so exhausted. It's not working for me. Then stop doing it and come up with something different. And then step 5 is once you get that groove and you get something that's getting you results, it's making you feel good, you're losing weight, it's working for you, then that's when you're going to rinse and repeat and just make that become a habit. I cannot start my day without a workout now. So no matter what, it seems like, no matter how early we have to leave, unless it's like 4 in the morning, I get up and do the workout because I can't start my day without it. It's a totally ingrained habit, and I can help create that for you as well. So you've heard me talk about the Sugar Busting Bootcamp throughout this video. Enrollment is still open. I decided to keep it open through the end of the month because I want to help more women bust the sugar habit, get out of that sugar coma, create new habits, eat healthy foods, lose weight, gain energy, and all that stuff. So enrollment's going to stay open through the end of May. I'm going to throw the link down in the comments for you to check it out, and you can apply. I'm only taking women that are really serious about doing this because I want to create an environment where we've got women helping women overcome these sugar issues. And so I'm gonna throw that application down in the comments, and I look forward to hearing from you. Let me know down in the comments as well if you've got any of those sugar issues, those habits and things that you want to break, and let me help coach you through them. You can also post in the group, and I will check those out as well. So have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.